Choosing to go Ike, which means that you kind of sacrifice some edge guarding potential. That said, if you can send, let's say like an F tilt with Ike, if you can send Richter deeply horizontal off stage, you can run off and forward air swat to get an edge guard before Karu is in range to tether to ledge or up B. So I could see that being a win condition as we go to Hollow Bastion, the projectile user's field.
Can I just say, a low-tier matchup like this is not something that we always see, but we are in MDVA today, but we have a Florida and a Virginia player leading us with this low-tier battle, and the up smash confirmed from Karu, going to be sealing out that first game with barely a hit on them.
That's the one thing that you sacrifice by not going Joker here is that, yes, you can maybe set up a very clear win condition with edge guarding, but you also increase the volatility in being combo fodder.
Yeah, I mean, that's the really big issue because as a character like Ike, you sacrifice so much speed that you could have had with Joker, and that's a big problem too because Belmont isn't an especially fast character. But when a Belmont is able to set up with both the planking and then having Holy Water, Axe, all of that sort of stuff, you don't really get a lot, but you can find that up air as Belmont getting that stock, and Karu already has a three stocks right now to 1, so Karu's in a very comfortable lead.
Trying to do the one thing that we said that Ike might be wanting to do,
no.
That angle's horrible. That's done.
He's not coming back.
You're gone. That is a nasty angle. You gotta go to a double plat stage. You need to be able to high recovery with that side B to land on the platform and get either the platform cancel or get that range, that vertical range where you essentially are instantly able to act out of it. Because having the center plat means that if you're trying to side B from being off stage, it's rare that you're going to be able to land on that center plat. It's too far away from the ledge. So I imagine we try to go to a double platform stage here. If you go back to a single platform stage, you better be going Joker. But this is character first in the rule set. So the decision has already been made on which character we're going to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works. Do you just declare before you choose the next stage? Can you just declare, oh, I want to switch characters, and then you just pick a different stage? Is that what happens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in most character first matchups, the winner has to stay on the character that they were playing before. But in many, and also other ones, you can switch your character if you won, but you have to declare as the winner first if you're going to switch characters. Then the loser picks the character that they want to play afterwards. Then the stage bans come through and stage selection after.
Okay, so we are in a tiny bit of luck because we do have biplats. Unfortunately, we still have the Ike on stage. So maybe not such a terrible stage for Ike, but I do hope for Luxa's sake that he's able to get a little bit more than last game.
Might be a little bit harder to set up edge guards against the Belmonts, but you provide yourself a lot more safety when you are being edge guarded. So right now, Karu kind of just holding down all the stage positioning, using the length of the stage to dash back, the protection from the side plats to not get approached from above, and combo fodder back on the screen.
That is such a slow air dodge because even at the point that Luxa managed to get the air dodge, he was still getting nared by Karu. Like, nowhere to land, and especially when it sent him off stage too. It just put him in such a bad spot. Thankfully for Luxa, not going to be losing the stock just yet, and a big swing and a miss, but Karu actually off stage at this point, still going to be catching that up B straight out of it. Luxa down a stock already.
Luxa having a good time with it, lost the stock there and just kind of laughed it off. You can still set up a very clear win condition here if you can somehow get Karu off stage. But the way that Karu is moving, you can see whenever projectiles are in hand, it's all about keeping the space, and then any time that you get approached on, reprioritize center stage immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a really good flowchart to have in mind when you're going into a matchup such as this one. And I do hope that Luxa is paying mind to that because it does seem finally going to be able to get a little bit of a hit in. But Karu not really struggling to land whatsoever because the second that he's able to get some ground, they just have all the position in the world in order to get the stage. And not the stock just yet as they're able to recover, but that Holy Water going to be doing a whole lot, and that Axe, you know, you can kiss that stock goodbye.
Okay, found a dash attack on the return. That was good. You finally got to set up that one edge guard position. Karu got around it. That's only going to happen so many times if you can keep setting up that situation. But again, like we talked about, Karu prioritizing center stage means that you're never getting hit by Ike F tilt to be sent at that nasty angle to get edge guarded from. You can Karu is almost never getting hit at ledge.
Yeah, and that's something that's a really important thing that Karu has been able to avoid, I think, because Karu has the stage advantage for so much of this set to the point that Luxa is always on the back foot. And then as Ike, you really don't have a whole lot of options for getting the stage back. And then finally able to get that up smash straight out of the holy water. That is going to be yet another game for Karu in a convincing 2-stock.
Go to game 3. I still like what the biplats are providing here. It gives you at least some sort of mix-up. If you start charging your side B early off stage as Ike, you can threaten that you'll land on the platform. Karu will back up to try to cover the platform, and then you can get to ledge safely. So we saw that match, at the very least, lasting longer because Luxa was living for longer. And setting it back with Ike on the biplats, I have to imagine that we are seeing some sort of adaptation here. I think if we can recognize how hard Karu is prioritizing center stage and disadvantage, we can start finding some hard reads. But you're relying on dash attack and jab to get your percentage. It's not looking great.
Yeah, unfortunately for Luxa, there's just not a lot of space for him to be able to make any space whatsoever, because you could see that back air just coming out, and that whip gives Karu so much space in order to not have to be right up against Luxa in order to take any space whatsoever. So it's really good for Karu to just find the spacing through the sword, able to get the back airs, able to land those aerials as well, getting that up B, and putting even more distance between themselves. So Karu going to be trying to land with that nair, but unfortunately not going to be able to land it just yet. Still keeping Luxa in the air though. This is a dangerous place to be.
There we talked about, though, he landed on the platform, got the cancel off of it, was actionable immediately, but Karu unfortunately just caught the advantage. I love mixing in the counter against approaching projectiles. Karu's going to think twice before approaching with a projectile on the screen.
Yeah, great stuff from Luxa to be able to just find that counter and actually taking first blood. That was the very first stock gone. Immediately taking that full rage right away. Karu going to be finding yet another stock and bringing us back down to even. Not even if Karu can help it, though.
Luxa's doing a lot of what we talked about before, keeping center stage, finding hits on Karu whenever he's over-prioritizing center stage, and then finally we saw a stock off of a ledge trap, which I feel like is the first time we saw Karu getting properly ledge trapped by Luxa, because Luxa found a hit at ledge and then found the stock confirmed with an F-tilt at ledge. That's a missed input, unfortunately, but still, finding a lot of different value that we didn't see before. That angle's a bad one, though.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because you were really just caught between a rock and a hard place because Karu was just charging F smash at ledge. There really wasn't anywhere for Luxa to go unless he really wanted to eat that damage, because at that point he had already committed to the side B. He couldn't go to the platform. So not really anything to do in that scenario, but Luxa still going to be looking to keep any ground possible, going to not be able to find any sort of answers to that, but Karu able to find that up B, and still going to find that up B, not enough to take the stock, but on that upper platform.
Wow.
Going for that would have been pretty crazy if we'd seen it, but this is just that up B Chroma side, but Ica side going to be what closes out this